When you resort to everyday activities on your honeymoon, you know it's not going well. Planning our second run in as many days meant Elena was bored and trying very hard not to let me know it. The first couple of days had been great. With 2-year-old twins at home, the only time we normally got away was when our alpha, Jeremy, sent us to track down a misbehaving mutt. Being on a mission doesn't mean we can't enjoy ourselves. There's nothing like celebrating a successful hunt with sex. Or working out the frustration of a failed hunt with sex. Or dulling that edge of pre-hunt excitement with sex. But there was also something to be said for skipping the whole track, capture, and maim part and being able to go straight to a hotel room and lock the door. Still, we could stay in there for only so long before we got restless, and when we came out, we discovered a problem with our honeymoon destination. There wasn't a hell of a lot to do. Back at the hotel, we called home and talked to the kids, or they listened as we talked, and had their answers interpreted by Jeremy. As much as we loved our daily call, we spent most of it braced for the inevitable,
"Mama, Daddy, home?"
Or in Kate's case,
"Mama, Daddy, home!"
Jeremy managed to spare us this time, stopping as soon as Logan asked,
"Mama, where?"
and bustling them off with his visiting girlfriend, Jamie. Next, Jeremy and Elena would talk about the kids and discuss any new pack or council business. Normally, I'd listen in and offer my opinion, whether they wanted it or not. But today I told Elena I was going downstairs to grab a map and a bottle of water, and took off. I was reasonably sure the mutt hadn't followed us from the restaurant, but wanted to scout to be absolutely certain. We'd walked to the arch and then to the restaurant, meaning we'd had to walk back, which gave him the opportunity to follow. A cab would have solved that, but if I'd voluntarily offered to spend time trapped in a vehicle with a stranger, Elena would have been on the phone to Jeremy, panicked that my arm was reinfected and I was sliding into delirium. So I'd suggested we take the long route back. The mutt hadn't followed. Maybe he'd had second thoughts. If he'd heard the rumors about me, he'd know he could be setting himself up for a long and painful death. But if he'd believed that, he should have hightailed it the moment he crossed our path. So, while I hoped, I didn't trust. I grabbed a brochure on state parks, stuffed it into my back pocket, then headed out the front door to circle the hotel. I got 5 steps before his scent hit me. I stopped to retie my sneaker and snuck a look around. The bastard was right across the street. He sat on a bench facing the hotel, reading a newspaper. Cocky? Or just too young and inexperienced to know I could smell him from here? I straightened and shielded my eyes, as if scanning the storefronts. When I turned his way, he lifted the paper to hide his face, but slowly. Cocky. Shit. Normally, I'm happy to show a cocky young mutt how I earned my reputation. At that age, one good thrashing is all it takes. But damn it, this was my honeymoon. I crossed the road and headed into the first alley. There were 2 ways the mutt could play this, depending on why he was stalking Elena. It could be his misguided way of challenging me. Stupid. Any wolf knew his mate wouldn't lift her tail for the first younger male who sauntered her way. Only a human would fly into a jealous rage and call a man out for it. But if challenging me was his goal, he'd follow me into the alley. Or he might really be after Elena. He wouldn't be the first mutt to think she might not object to a new mate. I walked far enough into the alley to disappear, then crept back along the wall, lost in its shadow, stopping when I could see the hotel door. After a few minutes, a car horn blasted and a figure darted through the heavy traffic. It was the mutt, heading straight for the hotel. I circled around the block, then came in the hotel side entrance, beside the check-in desk. I stopped there, partially hidden by a huge fake plant. The stink of the plastic fern overpowered everything else. I peered through the fronds. There he was, hovering at the other end of the desk, sizing up the staff. Hoping to get our room number? I stepped out, Just as he turned, a pale blonde ponytail bounced past on the other side of the lobby. Elena. I turned away from the mutt before he realized I'd made him. I opened my mouth to hail Elena, then stopped. If she saw me, she'd head over here. Better for her to keep walking, and I'd catch up outside the front doors.